all want freedom, but what kind of freedom are we really talking about? Today, freedom often means doing whatever you want, whenever you want, without consequence. But is that true freedom, or is it something far more dangerous? There's a kind of freedom that looks beautiful on the surface but rots the soul from within. The freedom to indulge every desire, to escape accountability, to reject all boundaries. This is what I call satanic freedom, liberty without limits. The Quran teaches that true freedom is found through submission to God. In Surah Al-Baqarah 2:56, it says, "There is no compulsion in religion. The right path has become clear from the wrong. We are not forced, but we are guided." God's guidance is the boundary that protects true liberty. Without boundaries, freedom becomes chaos. Think of a road with no traffic lights and no rules. The result isn't freedom, it's wreckage. The same is true in society. When people say, "Don't judge me, I can do whatever I want," what they often mean is, "I don't want consequences." But the world doesn't work that way. Every choice has a consequence. When we remove God from the equation, we remove moral limits. We begin to celebrate sin under the name of liberty. We glorify rebellion and mock righteousness. Look at modern entertainment, the music, the screens, the feeds. What's celebrated? Vanity, wealth, promiscuity, selfishness. We're taught to believe these things are empowering, but in reality, they leave people empty, disconnected, and lost. We think we're evolving when we abandon God's guidance, but in truth, we're devolving into moral chaos. Real freedom doesn't mean the absence of discipline. It means the presence of purpose. It means knowing what's right and choosing it, even when it's hard. Satanic freedom tells you to follow your desires above all else. It whispers that accountability is oppression, that morality is outdated. But that's a lie. Real freedom is the power to say no to temptation and yes to your highest self. Consider a drug addict. They're free to use, but are they really free or enslaved by their cravings? That's the illusion of satanic freedom. It feels like liberty, but it's actually bondage. God's laws aren't chains, they're keys. They unlock the best version of who we can be. When you live by divine principles, you find a deeper kind of freedom. Freedom from guilt, from addiction, from regret. In today's culture war, one side celebrates moral relativism, but believers must stand firm, not in hate, but in truth. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is say, "That's not right," not because you're better, but because you care. In Surah Al-Furqan 25:63, God praises the servants of the Most Merciful as those who walk humbly on the earth, and when the ignorant address them, they say, "Peace." Righteousness isn't arrogance, it's strength wrapped in humility. Freedom without truth is not freedom, it's deception. Satan's greatest trick was never violence, it was persuasion. Convincing people that wrong is right, that boundaries are burdens, and that judgment is evil. Real freedom lives within divine limits, not because God wants to control us, but because He wants to elevate us, to protect our dignity, to guide our hearts. So ask yourself, are you truly free or just unrestrained? The choice is ours. Will we chase the illusion of freedom or embrace the truth that sets us free?
Thank you for joining me for this episode of Beyond the Veil. I hope it gave you something to think about, something that will bring you closer to the truth. And I'd love for you to be a part of this journey. Make sure you subscribe, share this video with a friend, and leave a comment to let me know what stood out to you. Together we can bring more light to the world. See you next time.